Welcome to Curriculum 624, Pedagogy and Instruction for TESOL. I'm Dr. White. At this point, I think all of you have worked with me in the past. I'm excited to get to continue working with you for this semester. So this class is really going to go into macro level topics. We can scroll down a little bit that we didn't get to dive into in 548. So we're going to talk a little bit about effective resources. We're going to go back into SIOP, content-based learning and teaching, and task-based teaching. Talk a little bit about discussion-based learning. We really want our L's talking. And then we're going to go micro level again. We're going to really delve further into grammar and vocabulary instruction and assessment. We're going to look into listening and speaking instruction and assessment, and reading and writing instruction and assessment. And then we're going to go back out again. We're going to look at syllabus and curriculum design. We're going to talk about world Englishes. American English isn't the only English out there. Talk about non-native English-speaking teachers and their role in the field of ESOL, reflection, young and adult L's, and talk a little bit about professional development opportunities. So that's where the class is going to go. It's going to really build upon what we've already talked about in 521 and 548 and go deeper. We're going to really focus on reflection as a professional. Our background for this class, you have to have taken 521 and 548. We have one required course text. Please get this as soon as possible because we start readings from it in week 2. Other text and media will be posted to Canvas. I really recommend that you join our RBurn. You can email VKellers to be added to the listserv. You get weekly, bi-weekly, sometimes a little bit longer over breaks, opportunities with PD information in them. New York State TESOL or TESOL, you can use your student membership and get a really good discount on them. I can't recommend them enough because they just send out great things that will keep you abreast of what's going on in the field. So what are our learning outcomes for this class? So we are focused more on TESOL Standard 3 and TESOL Standard 5 for this class. So TESOL Standard 3 is the planning for standards-based ESOL and content instruction, implementing that planned instruction, using resources and technology effectively. We're going to talk a little bit about classroom-based assessment for ESOL, and we're going to dive more into ESOL research and history, as well as professional development and partnerships. So how do we take all those ideas from 548, all of that great, rich background knowledge from 521, and how do we put it into the classroom? And then how do we see if what we've put into the classroom is actually supporting learners? So our assignments mirror 548. So we'll have our weekly reading reflections just like you did. You'll also have your group discussion meetings and summaries. And then a smaller project we have is the resources and technology, annotated bibliography, and webliography. Really just a time for you to look for great resources that align with what you do with students, and then share those resources with your classmates. So it's just a time for you to build that toolbox that you have, that you might not on a day-to-day get to spend, 20 minutes looking into different websites. Then we have our instructional project, which is throughout the semester, you'll create 3 lesson plans and an assessment on any topic. It's going to be content focused. You're still going to be teaching language skills. Remember, we never separate the two in TESOL. We're always teaching language skills through content material. But the content focus is going to be because the assessment you create for the instructional project is going to assess if they learned the content material that you propose that they would learn in those 3 lessons. So you actually have to find a group of L's, teach them, create those learning opportunities, and assess them, and then create a reflection. So early on in the semester, we're going to have to find that location for you to do the instructional project. If you're already working with L's or in a school, that's great. You have a great opportunity. If not, we can look into other opportunities. If you're taking 625 at the same time, that'll be a great way to get you connected with L's as well. And then we're going to have a project that's our professional development presentation and reflection. So if we look at Standard 5B, it's not only that you can take advantage of professional growth opportunities, but that you can also build partnerships and serve as a community resource and an advocate for L. So what you're going to do with this professional development, you can pick any PD. You can go to a conference, you can watch a webinar, you can read an extra book, any PD that speaks to you, some way you want to grow in the field, anything. And you're going to email me and we're going to make sure it fits with our requirements for the class, and then you're going to participate in it. But PDs shouldn't end there. You're going to take it further, and you're going to create a presentation based on what you learned for your classmates so that it's almost like they get that same opportunity to participate in the PD. You're going to go from the learner to the teacher. And then you're going to say to yourself, how did participating in this PD impact my philosophy of educating else? So we always have to go beyond just sitting in these conferences. We have to take it back and teach our colleagues, and we have to take it back and reflect on what did we do, how did it shape us, and how do we want to keep going forward. So our reading reflections, same format as 548, same rubric, so it's here if you want to check it. Group discussions, same format. It's mandatory every week. If you have to miss it, you need to look into one of the other groups and see if you can join their group. Keep the summaries, post them. Same thing with the rubric. You'll be graded at the midterms and then at the end of the semester. And then here's more details on the bibliography, webbibliography, instructional project, and then PD project, which will have their own videos as well on Canvas. So just like the other classes you've taken with me, the schedule is right here. We have our weekly recording, our readings, and our assignments, reading reflections, and then bigger projects are always due on Fridays. We have a nice spring break in the middle of the semester. Hopefully it'll be a little warmer than we are right now. If you have to use any of the references from our class, here they are already done for you, APA. Quick reminders. It's usually much quicker, but it's 24 hours for emails on the weekdays, 48 for weekends and holidays. It's usually much quicker than that. Please don't hesitate to contact me. I can make explanation videos. I can call you. We can Skype. We can figure out any problem that you're going through. But the only way I can do that is if you keep in touch with me. If something's going on in your life, a quick email to just let me know something's going on and that you'll be in touch in the future, that's fine. I just need to know what's happening because I don't see you on a weekly basis. Usually all assignments are returned within 3 days. I usually send an email if I have something going on, and it's going to take me a little bit longer than that, but it's usually always that. Make sure we're using people first language. As this is an online course, you have to have reliable internet and computer access. The library on campus has tools if necessary. If you're not near campus, your local library or your school district's library can help you. Due dates are always by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Work is submitted on time. Late work is usually 10% per day off the assignment unless you've made prior arrangements with me with the instructor. The Writing Center is there if you have any trouble with something like APA 6th edition or you just need some support. They're there. You can schedule an appointment. They're great help. They're also great help for research. So while you're doing your instructional project and you write your reflection, you have to justify what you're saying you did makes sense and it's supported with relevant research. So if you need help with that, the research library is there. If I can help at all as you're doing the assignment, if the directions are ambiguous, just let me know and we'll work through it. At this point, you should understand plagiarism and the academic honesty and integrity that you're responsible for. You can't represent someone else's words or ideas as your own, and you can't use someone else's material as your own. You also can't self-plagiarize. So if you've used an assignment for a prior class, you can't use it again to earn a grade again on that same material. That's self-plagiarism. If you have any questions, you can see the dishonesty policy, or you can ask me. Basically what this means is if on the instructional project you're using a video someone else created, that's fine. We shouldn't always reinvent the wheel. You just have to cite them. And I expect that professionalism is maintained throughout the class. In our group discussions, you will talk about topics that are sensitive in nature, names of other teachers, names of the schools you work at, and any information shared should be treated with that respect. I really recommend that you use pseudonyms, particularly for students because that's covered under FERPA. But really what I'm asking is that your classmates should be able to share and reflect with you as a colleague and not worry that that information is going to go outside of your conversation. So here's lots of other resources if you were to want to look into them. Remember, our expectation for graduate students in the School of Education is a teacher is an accomplished scholar, a teacher is a constructivist educator, and a teacher is an accomplished reflective practitioner. So let's take a minute to just explore Canvas. Most of you are familiar with it at this point, but just a quick reminder. So we have our home page. Here's all my contact information. So on the syllabus page, we have the syllabus you can download here. It's also available in the introduction to the class. Here's our course calendar breakdown, which is also available over here on calendars. Any announcements to the class, you'll get an email, but it'll also be posted here so you can go back and double check. Then we have our weekly modules. So you just click on there and it has our assignments for the class. The different things we need to do, when we need to do it by. If you'd like to check, oh my goodness. Okay, I apologize. For some reason, Canvas is not liking me being in student view, so you're just gonna see it as I see it. So it'll look a little different for you. You won't have all these same options over here. So you can look at your grades at any time and check out what's going on. And then our assignments tab is organized by all of our assignments. So they're always linked under the modules as well when you have an assignment coming up, but they're here too. So your group discussion summaries, discussion boards can be posted here. Your reading reflections, your bibliography, webliography, your instructional project, each of the different components, and your professional development project. So you can get to all those just going under the assignments tab, but they're also linked under your weekly modules. If you have any questions about the syllabus, or if you have any questions about Canvas as you get working with it, just let me know at any time. I'm looking forward to this semester, and I'll talk to you soon.